Hi, welcome to our Fisher Science introduction video. So in Fisher Science, which is me, you'll be doing a lot of different things during 4th and 5th grade. So my name is Mrs. Fisher, and I'll be your science teacher. As you can see on the screen, those are my 2 email addresses that you can use to contact me. I've been teaching at our school here for 6 years, and I really love teaching science. It's one of my favorite things to do. So in science, because of the change in standards all across the state, we need to provide our students with a stronger, not just content-based, but process-based education for science. So they need to be able to think critically and analyze information, solve problems, refine and replicate and redo their work often. And this is going to help them in all of the future careers that are so STEM focused as we move on through our society. So that's what I try to do here in science. Thinking about ways to contact me, you have my email address. We're not using school notes anymore, and instead we are using Google Sites and Google Classroom. So the 2 links there will be posted on Classroom, and you can click obviously the most appropriate link for your grade level to see updates on homework or classwork and things like that. Or you can always write a note to me in person or an email if you have something that needs to be taken care of as more of a concern. But thinking back to our science and the content, here in class with me, you'll have labs and investigations and activities, hopefully twice a week. Sometimes it's continuing the same lab, sometimes it's more than twice a week. And then there's also weeks where we do content and reading and vocab and things like that more often. So it all depends on our schedule, but I try to do labs at least twice a week and content the rest. The way our new science standards work with our science curriculum and the way I teach it is that there are 3 components to our new standards. Disciplinary core ideas, which is our content. What information do I need to teach you? What information do you need to learn? Our engineering and science practices, which are the skills, how to create models, how to ask questions, how to interpret data, and the cross-cutting concepts, being able to identify patterns, which is something we do all across our curriculum in reading and science and math, identifying main ideas and details, things like that. And all 3 of those pieces work together to create our science curriculum and to create the classes that you will experience. So we have 3 trimesters here at our school, and I aim to do 3 units in each trimester. Depending on our schedule, it doesn't always happen. So we'll do units 1, 2, and 3 in the first trimester, 4, 5, 6 in the second, and 7, 8, 9 in the third trimester. Like I said, we do lots of labs and hands-on experiences to infuse our knowledge, and the picture that you see there is just one example of a model that can be used. So even though I call it a lab or an investigation, sometimes it's really creating a model to experience something else that we wouldn't be able to experience otherwise. I do use YouTube in our class. I use it to provide our students with resources for our content. I also use it to provide instructions for all of our labs, all of our notebook activities, homework, so that people who are absent or are stuck and confused can go back and check their work and ask me kind of questions. And I know this because during my master's work, I was able to study this, and I realized that the students were using the videos. Even if they couldn't use them in class, they were using them at home, and it did help them complete their work a little bit better. So there's also 3 other pieces that we use in class. So we have our labs and projects, which are about 50% of the trimester grade. We have our notebook, which needs to be accurate and correct. It needs to be done the right way, because if I go and do a notebook check, I need to be able to see certain things on certain pages so I know the children have been paying attention. And our tests and quizzes will occur often. Our tests are different than what you might be used to. They are process-based, or How can I interpret data? How can I create a graph? How can I make a hypothesis? And our quizzes that I give you are much more content-based. And that, along with the notebook activities, create the other 50% of your trimester grade. We use Google Classroom a lot in our class for science. That's where a lot of resources are posted. And I also use 2 other sites called Flipgrid and Seesaw, which help us show our learning in a digital way. So please make sure that you're checking Classroom for any assignments for those 2 classes or 2 programs. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in class, or email me, or write me a handwritten note. Thanks, guys.